Calories or macros? Which one is more important? The answer might surprise you. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, I am coming in with a video that was actually spurred by several questions I've received. A lot of people, I've said this in multiple videos, but a lot of people will message me on Instagram with various questions about VSG, weight loss surgery, or just nutrition in general. Some people know, or many people know, because it's posted on my Instagram profile page, that I have a degree in dietetics and nutrition. And as a result, I get asked a lot of nutrition questions. I have been asked nutrition questions by friends, by family, by bodybuilders, by you name it. And I've also created meal plans for these people, nutrition plans, weight loss plans, whatever the case may be. So I get asked nutrition questions quite frequently. And as a result, I thought it was very important that I made this video to try and basically provide a little bit of a better understanding about calories and macros and all of that, you know. So I thought it very important that I go ahead and make this video, and perhaps it will help people who have, you know, questions about what they should eat, how they should eat, and things along those lines. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, what I want to provide is a quick synopsis of calories and macros. So basically, kilocalories, BKA calories, are units of measure. They're basically units of energy. And so a calorie basically measures how much of something you eat. That's a calorie. Macronutrients, BKA macros, are the composition of your food. So macros are what you eat. So now that that's cleared up, let's talk about what exactly that means, you know, in a little bit more depth. So in order to lose weight, you want to create a calorie deficit. And so what that means is you want to burn more calories than you eat, or you want to eat less calories than what's required to maintain your current weight. Basically, that's what that means. You want to pay attention to what nutrients you're eating. So again, the macros, you want to pay attention to what nutrients you're eating and in what percentages you're eating them. So basically, calories and macros are equally as important. One is equally important as the other. You want to pay attention to both. And so with that being said, let's talk about the three macronutrients, the three main macronutrients that we have. Carbohydrates, or carbs, everyone knows about carbs. And then we have fat, and then we have protein. So carbs, fat, and protein. Those are the three macronutrients, or macros. Those are the three macros that you need to pay attention to, or what you should be paying attention to when you're eating. So let's start with carbohydrates first. Carbohydrates are sugar, basically. And many times you will hear people refer to them separately, but they're technically the same thing. Carbohydrates are glucose, and glucose is sugar. But there are complex carbohydrates, BKA good carbs, and then you have simple carbohydrates, BKA the bad carbs. So that's basically what carbohydrates are. You have good carbs, you have bad carbs, okay? Now let's talk about fat. Fat are lipids, and just like carbohydrates, you have the good fats, and then you have the bad fats. So you have carbs first, then you have fats, and then you have protein. Now I'm going to break them down a little bit different on a caloric basis shortly, but let me talk about protein now. Proteins and carbohydrates to a certain degree are basically 4 calories per gram. So protein and carbs are to a certain extent calorically equal. However, the superior macronutrient is that of fats. Fats is the superior macronutrient. Why? Because fats contain 9 calories per gram. Okay? So it's usually not explained that way, but fats are actually the more preferred macronutrient normally. But everyone is different, and so it would depend upon your needs. Got it? Okay, good. So some of you might be saying, okay, so what the hell does any of this mumbo jumbo have to do with my body type and how I should be eating? Well, first let me discuss the 3 main body types: ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. Okay? So, ectomorphs are typically thin and have very high metabolism. So think about those people that you know who are like rail thin and they can eat whatever they want, you know, and it just seems like they will not gain any weight. Those people are typically ectomorphs. Think about, I guess the best way to help you remember, think about ectoskeleton. So you think about skeleton, you think about thin, you think about ectomorphs. Hope that helps. Mesomorphs. Now, mesomorphs are much more athletic built people with a much more athletic build. They're much more naturally muscular and things like that. So I guess a way to help you remember that one would be M. Muscular and mesomorph. Okay? Okay. So then we have endomorphs. I am an endomorph. I'm naturally an endomorph. Endomorphs are much more stockier, heavier, thicker people. They usually have a much more broader, thicker, chunkier body composition naturally. They're much more heavier naturally. And so, depending upon your body type, it helps determine the best way you should eat to lose weight or gain weight, depending upon what your nutrition goals are. So what works best, or typically works best for each body type? So endomorphs. Endomorphs respond very well to a high carbohydrate diet. They can eat carbohydrates very easily and process them very easily, or a whole lot easier than the other 2 body types because of their very high metabolism. Endomorphs typically have very high metabolisms, so they respond well to, or much better to, higher carbohydrate diets. Mesomorphs. Mesomorphs respond very well to a diet composed primarily of higher fats, higher healthy fats. Remember the good fat, the bad fat. Higher healthy fats and protein due to their naturally occurring muscle in their bodies. So mesomorphs respond very well to diets that are higher in fat and protein. Now, endomorphs, me. Poor endomorphs, I swear, we just assed out for the most part. For the most part, because our bodies really don't respond well to high carbohydrate diets. And this is something that I learned many years ago about myself when I first started studying nutrition. When I really want to understand something, I totally immerse myself in that particular subject. And so from my own standpoint, I wanted to understand why my body responded to foods, certain foods, the way it did. And that's when I found out, okay, you have a very, very slow metabolism and you do not respond well to carbohydrates. As a result, I am a endomorph. Now with endo, I guess as a hint to help you remember it, think about, I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to get in no trouble in this video, but think about like endo, like weed. And you know, like usually after people smoke weed, they kind of want to eat and they get the munchies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only way I could think to remind you about about endomorphs. Think about endo weed eating. I don't know. That's the only thing I come up with for endomorphs. So back to what I was saying about endomorphs. Like I said, me being an endomorph, my body does not respond very well to carbohydrates, and as such, I am the type of person that needs to consume more protein and fat in my diet and much less carbohydrates. That works better for me. Now, keep in mind that since carbohydrates, I don't want to get too technical in this video, but some people have this misconception that you can just consume, you know, tons and tons and tons, or you should consume tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of protein and you'll still lose weight. And that's not necessarily the case, because you can consume too much protein. And again, without getting too technical, as I stated earlier, carbohydrates and protein are calorically the same. So carbohydrates, now this is a difference, but it's important to know that having too much protein in your body can eventually lead to a process in which it will break down, the proteins will break down to glucose. And so too much glucose will slow your weight loss or even prevent your weight loss. So basically, protein can break down into sugar. That's what I'm trying to say. And so some people have this misconception that they can eat, you know, these ridiculous amounts of protein and still lose weight. But then they'll soon see that, okay, well, I'm eating all this protein and I'm gaining weight, or I'm not losing. Well, it's because you've consumed too much protein. Whole nother story. Like I said, try not to get too technical, but I get these questions, so I'm trying to explain it in such a way that people will have a little bit of an idea of exactly what carbs and protein and fat and all of that means, basically. So it's important to eat for your body type, because it can help you achieve your weight loss or weight gain goals, whatever it is that you're trying to do, in the most optimal fashion. And so it goes a little bit deeper than just simply tracking your calories. You should probably be tracking and tweaking your macros for the most accurate picture of what's going on with you. So basically that's it. I'm trying my best to answer some of the questions that I received. I hope that helped. But basically, do you track your macros? Do you track your calories? Do you need help tracking your macros? If so, hit me up on my website. There is a contact form on pearshapeweightloss.net, and let me know that you would like to schedule a session with me to help you track your macros. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. We'll work something out together. Or you can hit me up, DM me on Instagram and let me know. I'll help you with that as well, because it goes a little bit deeper than just giving somebody a meal plan. You know, you need to track to accurately see what your body is doing, how your body is responding. You want to have your macros broken down appropriately based on your body type, based on your nutrition goals. So anyway, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe and turn the notifications on, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.